Have you ever sat in front of your screen knowing you shouldn't take a trade, but you take it anyway? Not because it's a good setup, not because it fits your plan, but because you feel the need to do something. That feeling is not discipline, it's dopamine. And it's the silent reason why most traders fail. Because trading, at its core, is boring. It requires waiting, patience, doing nothing for long periods of time. But your brain doesn't like that. Your brain wants stimulation. It wants action. It wants reward now. So what do most traders do? They start chasing it. They open charts not to execute a plan, but to feel something. They take trades not because they should, but because they're tired of waiting. And every time they click buy or sell without a real reason, they get a small hit, a rush, a feeling of being in control. That's dopamine. And the more you feed it, the more it controls you. Because trading is no longer about making money, it's about satisfying a feeling. You're not trading the market anymore, you're trading your emotions. And that's where everything starts to fall apart. Because once dopamine takes over, your decisions stop being logical, they become emotional. You start trading faster, you start trading more, you start trading without thinking. And the worst part is, it feels right in the moment. It feels like you're being productive. It feels like you're in control. But in reality, you're losing control. Because now you're not following a plan, you're following a feeling. And feelings change every second. One moment you're confident, the next moment you're scared, then greedy, then desperate. And every one of those emotions pushes you to act. So you enter trades you shouldn't take. You close trades too early. You hold losers too long. Not because you don't know what to do, but because you can't control yourself in the moment. That's the real problem. Not strategy, not knowledge, control. Because discipline means doing what's right even when it feels wrong. And dopamine makes you do what feels right, even if it's wrong. That's the battle every trader is in, not against the market, but against their own brain. And the scary part is, your brain is designed this way. It's built to chase reward, to avoid boredom, to seek stimulation. And trading gives it everything it wants: constant movement, constant opportunity, constant temptation. So if you don't have control, you will get pulled in, again and again, into trades you didn't plan, into risks you didn't calculate, into losses you didn't expect. And over time, it becomes a cycle. You lose money, you feel the urge to make it back, you take another trade, you lose again, and the cycle continues. Not because the market is against you, but because you're feeding the wrong behavior. You're rewarding impulsive decisions. You're training your brain to chase action, not results. And that's why most traders stay stuck. They're not building discipline, they're building addiction. Addiction to clicking, addiction to being in the market, addiction to feeling something, even if it costs them money. But the top traders, they break this cycle. They don't trade for excitement, they trade with intention. They don't act on impulse, they act on rules. And that one difference changes everything. Because once you remove the need for excitement, your trading becomes calm, slower, more controlled. You stop looking for trades everywhere. You start waiting for the right ones. You stop reacting to every candle. You start following a plan. And at first, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're missing out. like you should be doing more, like you're falling behind. But that feeling is just withdrawal. Your brain is used to constant action. It's used to the rush. So when you take that away, it resists. It tells you to click, to enter, to do something. But if you can sit through that feeling, if you can stay still, if you can choose discipline over dopamine, something powerful starts to happen. Your mind becomes clearer, your decisions become sharper, your trades become fewer but better, and slowly your results start to reflect it. Because now you're no longer reacting to the market, you're responding to it, and there's a difference. Reaction is fast, emotional, impulsive. Response is calm, planned, controlled. Most traders live in reaction. The top traders operate in response. They see the same charts, the same setups, the same opportunities, but they don't feel the same pressure to act, because they're not chasing the feeling anymore. They're following a process. And once you reach that level, trading becomes quiet, not exciting, not stressful, just structured. And that's where consistency lives, not in hype, not in emotion, but in control. And that's the part nobody wants to hear, because it means there's no shortcut, no trick, no secret that suddenly makes everything easy. It means you have to change your behavior, not once, but every single time you sit in front of the charts. You have to choose discipline again and again, even when it feels boring, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when nothing is happening. Because those are the moments that define you. Not the winning trades, not the big profits, but the quiet moments, when you decide not to act. That's where control is built. And that control is what protects your capital. It's what keeps you consistent. It's what separates you from the majority. Because while others are chasing dopamine, you're building discipline. And over time, that discipline becomes your edge. Not something you search for, but something you become. Because now, every decision is intentional. Every trade has a reason. Every risk is controlled. You're no longer guessing, you're executing. And that's when trading finally starts to make sense. Not because the market changed, but because you did. Because you stopped chasing the rush and started respecting the process. You stopped feeding impulses and started building control. And that shift is what most traders never make. They keep looking outside for a better strategy, a better signal, a better system, not realizing the real problem was never out there. It was always inside them. So here's the lesson. If you want to improve your trading, don't start with the charts. Start with your behavior. Ask yourself, are you trading for profit or for the feeling? Because the moment you choose discipline over dopamine, you don't just change your trades, you change your results. And once you truly understand that, everything becomes clear. Because now you see the game for what it is, not a battle against the market, but a battle against your impulses. And the moment you win that battle, the market becomes easier to navigate. Not predictable, but manageable. Because you're no longer trying to control what you can't. You're focused on what you can. Your actions, your decisions, your discipline. And that's where real consistency comes from. Not from chasing wins, but from eliminating mistakes. Not from doing more, but from doing less with control. So the next time you sit in front of your charts and you feel that urge to click, that urge to act, that urge to chase something,
Pause and ask yourself one question. Am I trading the market or am I chasing dopamine? Because that one question might be the difference between staying stuck and finally becoming consistent.